Hello, everybody out there in Rumble X and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And today we're going to talk some more about The Devil Wears Prada, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. That is the movie. It is a sequel 20 years in the making because Part 1 came out in 2006. Yeah, that was a long time ago. However, in Hollywood, time stands still. Okay, because even though it's been 20 years later, everything is still pretty much, for the most part, the same. The culture, the fashion, the whole idea about, being a boss bitch and, your career is everything. Put your career first. Men are superfluous, but a woman in a career is everything. It's the most important thing. We're back to that again. Okay, that message is still being touted as much today as it was in 2006. Now, before you start hating me, okay, first of all, let me tell you, I understand why that message is there. Okay, I understand why. Okay, yeah. So the women have suffered. Boo-hoo-hoo. Okay, women have also prospered throughout history, but they don't teach you that part in your libtard universities, though, do you? No, of course not. And they definitely don't depict those in the movies, all right, or the TV shows. Okay, that's because they want you to foster this idea. They want to cultivate your victimhood. Okay, because if you feel that you are oppressed or you are a victim, then you feel righteous when you take. Okay, you feel like you earned it or you deserve it somehow. Okay, like if I was constantly being bullied, okay, and then I grow up and I become a strong man, okay, I might feel it's okay to push people around with my physical presence. Why? Because it happened to me before, but not anymore. I ain't gonna let that happen again. Now I'm the one doing it. You see what I mean? Okay, that's that whole idea, retribution or whatever. Okay, this whole narrative that women are oppressed and women are all victims and blah, blah, blah. Therefore, now that it's, the 2000s, okay, that women now are taking it back or something, or they're going to get revenge or something on the men that have oppressed them throughout history, even though those men are all dead now. It's freaking ridiculous. Okay, but yet that's the narrative that keeps spinning. Okay, and for every woman who's been assaulted physically by a man, okay, I will show you a man who has lost everything because of a woman. Okay, the court system is very biased towards women. Okay, especially family court. Okay, there's a lot of inequities going around. Okay, I'm sorry, ladies, if you have a problem with the fact that most men are stronger physically than you are. Okay, and when it comes down to, okay, the only type of rights that you have are going to be the rights that are enforced by, they can be voted on by the general populace, but they can only be enforced by the men. Okay, without men enforcing the rights, you have no rights. Do you understand that? Okay, and in America, okay, we have so much democracy here, okay, that you can actually speak out against your government. You can actually ridicule your leader in public, and they can't do anything about that. Okay, you can actually do that. You can make fun of me, okay, and I can make fun of anyone else. Okay, we can make fun of our celebrities here. Okay, we can make fun of our government leaders here. Okay, we can do that because we have something that a lot of other countries don't have. You see what I mean? There's countries out there not far away from us where you go to jail, prison, for using the wrong word. Now, what kind of freedom of speech is that? Exactly. Okay, at least in this country, the libtards haven't taken it over completely yet. Okay, and as long as there's people who are willing to stand up and fight for what they believe in, they never will. Okay, because you can't be the party of tolerance but yet be completely intolerant of people having their own ideas. Okay, and regardless of whether you think the patriarchy is in charge or whatever, okay, it doesn't change the fact that this is the way it has always been, and it has always been this way for a reason. Not because nobody ever thought up of a better idea. Okay, there is no such thing women, ladies, there's no such thing as a matriarchy that has taken over a kingdom or a planet or anything, okay? It's never happened. And is it because that no one thought of it until now? Is that what you think? Really? I mean, there have been female leaders. I mean, look at Catherine the Great. I mean, she was a tyrant, okay? She was just as bad as any male tyrant, you know? I mean, they've been out there, you know, like Cleopatra and stuff. Like, there have been powerful women in history, okay, that did things, okay? But there's never been a matriarchy, okay? You know why there's never been a matriarchy? Because it can't exist, okay? Any group of men could take it down. You see what I mean? And a lot of you are thinking like, oh, men are the problem. I just saw the Odyssey, okay? Yes, I spent my money to go see that, even though it's woke. But I saw it in a modest theater. Okay, I didn't buy an IMAX ticket or nothing like that. I'm gonna give them that kind of money, okay? But I saw it, and one of the themes in there is there's a woman named Circe, you know, Greek mythology, you know, Circe, where she tells Odysseus that she turned his men into pigs because that's what they really are. That's what all men are. Like that, you know, and obviously this scene was written by a libtard, man-hating feminist, and it was, okay? It was based on the libtard, feminist, misandrist version of the Odyssey. But anyway, I think her name was Stephanie Mitchell or something, I don't remember. But anyway, he based it on that, on the feminist version of the Odyssey. But anyway, you could tell that she was basically telling Odysseus, your men deserve it. Even though these men did nothing to her. All they did was ask her for food. They're starving, okay? She had plenty of food, okay? They didn't rough her up. They didn't take, you know, they didn't essay her, nothing like that. But she turned them into pigs because that's what they are. That's what they really are. And when Odysseus makes her turn them back, she says, go back to your disguises. As if, you know, being a human being is a disguise for us, that we're really pigs. No, we're not. I would have loved to do a rewrite of the Odyssey where Odysseus all of a sudden decides to use a little bit of his own magic and turn her into what she really is. You know? And let's see how the men react to that. You see what I mean? Now all of a sudden the women are, oh, you can't, that's abusing women. You see what I mean? But it only goes in one direction. So in one direction it's okay, in the other direction it's not okay. All right. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it is so prevalent out there. I'm sick and tired of women complaining about how men have everything, women have nothing. Okay. Misogyny is everywhere and we need to gather together and fight it. And if you're not an ally of the feminist cause, then you're part of the problem and all that kind of crap. All right. That's bullshit. It always has been bullshit, okay? What bothers me, okay, is just how easy it is, okay, how permissible it is to allow misandrous content into movies, okay, into TV shows with no checks and balances. But yet you can't have any misogynistic content in there because that's considered taboo. That's considered, you know, it'll never be allowed. You see what I mean? How is it that only one can be shown but the other one can't? You see what I mean? And don't say, oh, that's because finally, after thousands of years, women are finally able to criticize men in public. Don't give me that shit, okay? Because the boys, the men that are experiencing this misandry right now weren't around back then, okay? They had nothing to do with it. They had nothing to do with the sins of their ancestors. You see what I mean? They were born into a world where the mainstream media tells them that they're pieces of shit and that they owe women something. What do you think that's going to do to a boy's self-esteem growing up? Being told that because he has a penis, okay, he has to, you know, play it down, okay, and not use it. Don't use that testosterone. It's disgusting poison that your body makes. Ew. Okay? Be more like that gay guy over there. Then we'll respect you. You see what I mean? Dress like a woman. Then we'll respect you. You see what I mean? This is a load of shit. But this stuff gets put there. Men are constantly being shamed in media. Men are constantly being told that we need to do better. How come women don't ever need to do better? What's up with that? How come women don't ever need to do better? Okay? You know, have you ever looked at the statistics for women that are essaying, okay? You know, teachers, women teachers that are essaying their underage students, okay? It is an epidemic. And nobody's giving it attention. Nobody talks about it. Nobody makes movies about it. But that's a real thing. That is a real thing that's happening right now. Hundreds, thousands of women that you entrust your children with every day when you drop them off at school. And these women are assaulting children. Children. Yeah, to me, 14 years old, that's a child. Teenager, whatever, okay, that is not an adult. And they're doing that. And what do women, what is women's excuse when that gets shown in front of them? Oh, well, he probably liked it, so it's not real. Get the fuck out of here. What if that was an adult man that did that to your 14-year-old daughter? Ah, she probably liked it. You see what I mean? Where's the outrage? It's not there. It's not there. Now, ladies, I'm not talking to most of you who watch this video are not like this. I get it, okay? But most of you women that are watching this video are not the ones making the decisions of what gets shown on TV and what gets shown in the movie theaters. You see what I mean? You're being told what you're supposed to like and what you're supposed to fight for. You're being told we're your ally, okay? We're here to make the world a better place for you, and we'll start with by hating men, okay? And for all you women out there that ate that fucking feminist fucking shit sandwich and swallowed it and asked for seconds, it's fine when you're young and you're pretty, you know, and men want to date you. Yeah, treat them like shit, whatever. It doesn't matter because there's always going to be another man who's going to step up. You see what I mean? But as you get older, you lose that leverage. You start having kids now, your value starts to drop. Okay, and what happens when your value starts to drop and men start treating you differently? They're not all coming on to you anymore. They're not all like trying to wife you up anymore. What happens? You start blaming the men. Don't blame yourself for your action. Blame the men, because that's what feminists do. Now they're all jaded. Now they're all bitter. And the only way they can feel better about their miserable lives with cats, they've lost their looks. They've lost their youth. They spent all their time, okay, all their energy, okay, using men as their disposable and getting that career. And now that they have those things, they don't have any men. There's no men around to share it with. And there's no children around because all the times they got pregnant, they got rid of the kid. You see what I mean? So what do they have? They have nothing. It's so funny. These movies like this one, like Devil Wears Prada 2, it's all about Andy, improving her career, improving her economic status. Okay? And even if she does become like a Miranda Priestley, so what? Okay? She doesn't have a husband. She doesn't have any kids. So who's going to get her money when she dies? Nobody. Who's going to tell their kids stories about her? Nobody. Hey, everyone, look at what Grandma did. This was your grandma. Let me tell you about her. Nobody. There won't be anybody because she left nothing behind. She didn't even leave any progeny. Nothing. You see what I mean? And that's sad. And the movie ain't going to go there. The movie ain't going to talk about that. They're not. As a matter of fact, Miranda Priestley, if you remember in the last movie, Miranda Priestley had twins. She had 2 daughters. Okay? They're not even mentioned in this movie at all. It's not like she raised them, so why would she even bring them up in conversation? Of course not. Okay? She didn't care about her daughters. Okay? Despite what she said, oh yeah, she'll get her assistant, okay, to get the latest Harry Potter, the latest Harry Potter manuscript, okay, and smuggle it to them. Yeah, she'll do that, but she's not actually involved in their lives. You know, she's not there. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, and that's what this movie promotes. It promotes that thing. Oh, someone else will raise your kids. It doesn't matter. Your kids will always be there. It don't matter. The important thing is the career. I'll just hire somebody to take care of my kids. I'll just hire somebody, okay, to put a Band-Aid on my kid when they get hurt, or to talk to my kid when their feelings get hurt, or to show my kid how to do these things. I'll just hire somebody to do that. Okay? You see what I mean? That's not real life. And only the rich people can do that. The average person can't afford that, you know? But once again, the career has to come first. The career is the most important thing. Let me tell you something, ladies. The career don't love you. Okay, all it can do is provide you, if you're really good at what you do, it'll provide you with a very comfortable life. Okay, as far as you're not gonna have to worry about paying rent or anything like that. You'll have insurance. You'll have all those things that people take for granted, but it's not going to necessarily make your life fulfilling. You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, there's none of that in here. Okay, getting a job, you know, at a magazine as an editor, it's something. Okay, but if that's all your life means, you know, then you're lacking in a lot of things. You're lacking in being human. Okay, and when people live old like this, and they look back on their lives, is that what they're gonna think about? All those wonderful articles that they had published in their magazine? How they set the trends to all these styles? Okay, how they, how they gaslit and manipulated women all over the world into buying these ridiculous outfits that were only popular for like 3 months? Is that what they're gonna think about on their deathbed? Well, it's going to have to be. You know why? Because they're not going to have any family to think about. There's not going to be, oh my God, my husband, my parents, my children, my grandchildren. That's who you think about when the clock starts to run out. What happens when the clock starts to run out and you don't have anyone to think about except yourself? You see what I mean? That's sad. To me, that's the real horror from these movies. And these movies aren't going to tell you that. That's why I have to tell you that, okay? And this applies to men. I'm not being sexist here. This applies to men. There's plenty of guys out there that put their career first, okay? I was in the military, all right? I know lots of guys that didn't spend any time with their children because we were out fucking in the field all the goddamn time, okay? They didn't get to raise their kids. They didn't get to spend as much time with their children as they wanted to. We're always fucking being deployed. We're always out in the fucking ocean somewhere or in the fucking desert for months, you know? I mean, it adds up after a while. You come home from a deployment, all of a sudden your kid's not fucking a baby anymore. He's fucking 15. And he don't like you very much. Because you haven't fucking been there. Instead, he learned about the birds and the bees and about being a man from his fucking friends. Yeah. And why are his friends that way? Because their dads also weren't there for them either. You see what I mean? And that's sad. That's sad. All right, now let's get to the movie here, okay? I know, I'm gonna get on my pedestal right now, okay? Now, where we left off last time with Andy just got fired, okay, from her job, okay? What do you call it? She was, we get to Andy, it's 20 years later, okay? She was in some magazine, or the New York Vanguard, and she was at an awards show, and she gets a mass text, her and the other employees that are all sitting at the same table, they all get a mass text, okay, saying that they've all been laid off. So now she's out of a job and she lives in a shitty apartment. You would think that she'd be living better since it's been 20 years since we saw her. And the last time we saw her 20 years ago, she lived in a shitty apartment with her boyfriend. Now she's single and still is in a shitty apartment in New York. Okay. Anyway, so there's a scandal at Runway Magazine. Miranda Priestley's being blamed for it. Apparently, she had her magazine wrote a puff piece on this company called Speed Flash. Yes, and they were Speed Flash. They were a textile company that makes all these designer clothes. Well, apparently they were using sweatshop labor. That got exposed. Okay, and so now Miranda Priestley and Runway Magazine, their reputations are on the line here because, like I said, they wrote a nice review about them because that company lied to her reporters. So now she's being blamed for this, and now the stock for Runway is starting to go down. Okay, the owner of Runway is still the same guy, Irv Ravitz. He owns a company called Elias Clark, or was it Amelia Clark? No, Amelia Clark's an actress. Sorry, that's Daenerys. No, Elias Clark. Okay, Elias Clark is the company owned by Irv Ravitz. Okay, and Elias Clark owns Runway Magazine. Okay, so he's all upset. He was about to promote Miranda to a creator of global content or some a prestigious position. So she's not going to be the editor-in-chief of Runway anymore. She's going to get a bigger job, even though she's like in her fucking late 70s. They're going to give her that job. Now that makes no sense, but okay, just go with it. All right, but now the scandal has put that in doubt. Okay, so now she's got to manage the scandal. Okay, and so Irv Ravitz tells her basically that, hey, I'm going to fix this. Okay, so his son, Irv Ravitz's son, Jay Ravitz, shows him a video of Andy Sachs on her podium doing her acceptance speech for the award that she won, and she mentions in her speech that before she walked up to the podium, it was just announced to her on her phone through text that she has just lost her job, that her and everyone at the table sitting with her are now unemployed, and she makes this big long speech where she yells about journalism fucking matters. Well, Jay shows that to his dad, Irv, and Irv decides, let's hire her. She used to work for us 20 years ago. Let's hire her as an editor, okay? But he did not tell Miranda or Nigel, okay, at the magazine that he hired Andy Sachs back, okay? So all that's going on here, okay? Andy, of course, is excited to be working at Runway again, this time not as an assistant, but as an editor. Okay, so she tells her friends, and by friends I mean the co-workers that were sitting with her at the table that all got fired along with her, and of course they all need jobs too. So she tells them basically over beers, hey, listen, once I start working there again, I'm going to hire you guys to write my articles for me. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay, I'm going to take care of all of you. All right, it's like I'm your boss again. All right, so she made all these promises to them. Okay. And she tells them that they're offering her more money than she was making at the Vanguard, okay? And blah, blah, blah. She's going to rehire them, okay? One of them tells her to use the opportunity of working at Runway Magazine to write the definitive Miranda Priestly expose, okay? So she says, use this opportunity to write a book about Miranda Priestly, okay? Well, Andy Sachs, our main character, okay, is based on a real woman, okay, the author of the book Devil Wears Prada, okay, and her name is, what the hell was her name? Lauren Weisenberger, okay? See, in real life, Lauren Weisenberger worked as the first assistant, or second assistant, for Dame Anna Wintour, who was the editor-in-chief of Vogue magazine, okay? So when she wrote The Devil Wears Prada in 2003, she based Anna Wintour, her old boss, she based Miranda Priestly on the real life Dame Ann Wintour, okay? And so, and she put herself in the book, but she gave herself the name Andy Sachs, okay? So it's loosely based on a true story, okay? So basically what I'm telling you is that the real life Lauren Weisenberger already did that. She already wrote it, the book about Ann Wintour. It's called Devil Wears Prada Part 1. Okay, so that's going on here. And she did write a sequel to it in 2013, Devil Wears Prada 2. What was it called? I don't even remember, but she did write it. I mentioned it in the last one. The Devil Wears Prada 2. Oh, damn it. I don't even remember what it was called. Okay. Oh, yes. It was called, we can find it. Oh, yeah. Prada, the Devil Returns. Revenge Wears Prada, The Devil Returns. Okay, that book was published in 2013, and even though I did not read this book or the Devil Wears Prada, I'm guessing this movie, Devil Wears Prada 2, is based on that. It's based on the 2013 book, Revenge Wears Prada, Devil Returns. All right, so now we got that out of the way. Okay. So this co-worker, we don't know her name. She tells Andy that she can get for a good treatment. Okay, for a well-written proposal, she could easily get $100,000, okay, to write a book on Miranda Priestly, okay? But she's afraid no one will hire her again. Andy's afraid that if she does that, nobody will ever hire her again, okay? Because she basically wrote a tell-all book making her boss look bad, okay? Someone who's very high up in the publishing industry, okay? So she could get blacklisted for writing a book like that. All right, so that's going on here, okay? But she's excited about working with Miranda Priestly again. All right. So the next scene we have here is Runway Magazine. It's the next day. Miranda and Nigel are in Miranda's office, okay? And she tells Nigel that she has to meet with Dwar, with an executive at Dwar. Okay, look, I'm a straight guy, all right? I have an idea of what Dwar is, okay? Because I've reviewed every fucking episode of Sex and the City. It's on this channel. And through that, I've kind of learned some things about female fashion, okay? Right? As a side effect of reviewing those episodes, I've learned a couple of things about, stuff that mostly women and gay guys know, all right? Like Birkin bags and, Manolo Blahniks and crap like that, all right? Oh, my God. Oh Oh my God, the world y'all live in. Anyway, I know Dwar is like what, a perfume company or something? Is it a clothing company? I don't fucking know. I know it's a real company. I know that. I think it's a clothing store that like rich white bitches shop at. Okay. All right. So anyway, yeah. So Miranda has to meet with an executive at Dwar, because it can never be an American name. It's got to be Dwar. It's got to be Italian or French, that kind of thing. All right. She has to meet with that executive at 9:15, but Herb called her and said that his solution to the scandal is going to arrive at her office at 9 o'clock. So she's complaining, how the hell am I supposed to meet this new person at 9 o'clock and yet be across town to meet with Dwar at 9:15? Now, how is that supposed to happen? All right. So she's upset about that, blah, blah, blah. So it turns out to be Andy. So Andy walks in there into Miranda Priestley's office again for the first time in 20 years. And she's all excited. Oh my God. Oh, Miranda, Nigel. Oh, it's like a reunion, which is, of course, cathartic for us. It's a reunion for us, too. We haven't seen these characters in 20 years, and now we're seeing them all together in the same room again. All right? So there was something cool about that. I did enjoy Devil Wears Prada, the first movie, because it wasn't your typical chick flick, okay? It wasn't a rom-com, okay? It looked like a rom-com, but it really wasn't, okay? It was a movie about work ethic, all right? And so that kind of threw me for a loop. I was expecting, boy meets girl shit, okay, with a bunch of gay guys in the background. It ended up being, boss bitch meets boy with a bunch of gay guys in the background. It ended up being a movie about work ethic, okay? So I was like, okay, yeah, that's a universal idea. That can work, okay, in any genre, no pun intended. All right, so that's going on. All right, okay, and so Andy's there, of course. Nigel, of course, says something. He's the gay guy. He's like, oh, look what the TJ Maxx dragged in. I like Nigel. Stanley Tucci usually plays assholes in his movies. Okay, bald-headed jerks. Okay, for the most part. But here he's playing an endearing guy. Okay, a guy who's actually, he's he's very reserved. Okay, he doesn't ask for much. Okay, but he's very mentoring type of a guy, very sarcastic, Yes, he's gay, it's pretty fucking obvious, but he doesn't throw that in your face. He doesn't talk about it or nothing like that. That's not his identity, okay? It's what he is, but he doesn't wear that like a badge of honor or anything. That's just what he happens to be. He's just a guy that's really good at his job. He works in the fashion industry. He's like the art director for Runway magazine, okay? He takes the job seriously. You always see him working. He's always looking at the magazines through his little monocle or whatever, okay? So he takes his job very seriously, okay? And the advice he gives is usually pretty good, okay? He took this nobody 20 years ago, Andy Sachs, who knew nothing about the fashion industry, and he mentored her, okay, into becoming the #1 assistant. Now, she did turn that job down by the end of the movie because she didn't want to end up being a bitch like Miranda Priestley, but the fact that he took her under his wing and showed her all these things that she wouldn't have learned on her own means that he gives a shit. Not just about his job, he gives a shit about the people that he works with as well. So it goes without saying, he also gives a shit about Miranda, even though Miranda is a total fucking cunt. See what I mean? So he's a very good character, okay? Very balancing character, all right? He's the go-to. He's the go-between between Miranda and Andy. You go through Nigel because Miranda respects Nigel. She doesn't respect Andy. All right, so that's going on. Even though she did fuck over Nigel in the last movie. I forgot about that. All right. So that's going on here, okay? Miranda does not recognize Andy. I thought that was kind of funny. Like, who are you? I thought that was funny, okay? Considering that Miranda wrote her a letter of recommendation in the last movie. You would think that she would remember a girl that she wrote a letter of recommendation to. How many times has Miranda Priestley written a letter of recommendation to an employee that quit? Okay, probably not very often, but she did it for Andy, and she doesn't remember Andy. I find that hard to believe. Okay, Nigel says like she was one of the Emilys. Remember? Okay, yes, because Emily was the name of the first assistant, played by the real life Emily Blunt. That was one of her first like famous roles that she was in. Okay, she was a co-star in Devil Wears Prada Part 1. She's a major star now. Okay, and her name was Emily Charlton. Okay, British bitch with a British accent named Emily. Wow, it was very difficult for Emily Blunt to play that, don't you think? Anyway, so yes, she was one of the Emilys. Okay, because Miranda couldn't be bothered to learn Andy's name in the last movie because she was the number 2 assistant. Okay, and I mean number 2. Okay, I mean she would throw her coat on Andy's desk and Andy would have to hang it up for her. You know, yes, I enjoyed Devil Wears Prada Part 1. I gave it a pretty decent review. All right, so anyway, yeah, so she's one of the Emilys. All right, so that's going on here. Okay, Andy tries to jog her memory. She says like, "Oh, I'm the smart fat girl. Remember, smart fat girl. That's me." Because that's what Miranda called her, smart fat girl. Okay, he's like, "Man, that was eons ago. It was 20 years ago." All right. She says, "Irv sent me here to run the features department. Okay, he hired me last night." Okay, and Nigel and Miranda are like, they did not know this. Irv did not tell Miranda, okay, that he hired Andy Sachs to run the features department. Okay, he just said, "I'll fix it." Okay, so I guess there's not very good communication between the owner of Runway Magazine and the person that actually runs Runway Magazine. Okay, so that's kind of a jab at Miranda. Okay, so Andy says Runway needs to control the narrative of the scandal and regain credibility. Okay, so she's here to fix it. Okay, she's the fixer. Okay, she's a hired gun. She's here to fucking get rid of this fucking scandal. Okay, so that Elias Clark publications will go back up in stock again. All right. So that's going on here. Okay, Miranda immediately fires Ashley over the phone. She just picks up the phone and says, "Hey, get Ashley on the phone. Ashley, okay, your services will no longer be required. You're gonna get a letter from HR. Okay, get the fuck out of the building. You've just been replaced by." So she just fires Ashley, okay, the former editor of the features department, just like that, with no emotion, no nothing. And then she looks at Andy and goes like, she graduated from Yale. First in her family to ever go to college, I believe. Oh well, that's it. So guilt trip. She guilt trips Andy, all right? As if it was Andy's fault. Right, so Cornell. She says she went to well, there goes that Cornell graduated. I believe she graduated summa cum laude, first in her family to graduate college. Oh well, like that. Okay. So that's Ashley. We never get to see Ashley, by the way. All right. So that happens. Andy runs after them. Okay, so obviously Miranda's in a hurry. She's got to get across town and meet with a executive at Dwar. So Andy chases after her because, Nigel and Miranda are not going to slow down. So she's in this business suit, baggy business suit. I don't know what she's fucking wearing. I don't care. I'm not fucking gay. Okay, but she's chasing after them. Okay, all exaggerated movements like she's on a sitcom. Boom, 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 like that. Okay, and they go to the limousine there. She manages to get in there. She doesn't get in the back with her and with Nigel and Miranda. She has to get in the front, in the shotgun seat. Okay, and Miranda tells her, "You really ought to get that looked at, dear." She's like, "What?" She's like, "The condition you have that causes you to trudge." Now, I've got to be honest with you here. Okay, watching Meryl Streep play this character again, it was pretty cool. Okay. Because I enjoyed her portrayal. Miranda, okay, Meryl Streep, I told you she's butt ugly as hell, and she is, always has been, okay? But she can act. She can act, okay? She's not intimidating, okay? Whereas, if you get someone who's super good looking trying to act, it's very intimidating. Like Gal Gadot, okay? That woman's gorgeous, okay? But she can't fucking act with this shit, okay? Meryl Streep is ugly, but she can fucking act, right? when she acts the way you believe it, okay? And to see her put on that character again of Miranda Priestley, okay, with all her fucking snide comments, okay, her what do you call it? Her what's the word? Her sarcastic responses, her droll manner, and just like, I mean, it's fun. it's fun to see her play this character because I kind of missed that character in a way. It's like, okay, we get some more of that girl, that bitch again. All right, because she's entertaining. I mean, you can't help but but be not necessarily like the character of Miranda Priestley, but you enjoy watching her. Okay, you enjoy watching her. Okay, even though she's a total cunt, she does cunt with class. Okay. No, you would never be friends with her in real life. You know why? Because she would never be friends with you in real life. But it's fun to watch her, okay? It's a well-written character. Okay, so anyway, of course, Andy gets pissed off the trudging condition remark. Okay, this brings back all the bad memories of Miranda from before, from the last movie. Okay, Andy finds out that they are headed for a meeting at Dwar. This is how she discovers that's where they're going. Okay, and in order to basically beg Dwar to continue advertising in their magazine, okay? So right now, Miranda's trying to do damage control. She has to go to all these advertisers and beg them, okay, basically, okay, work out some sort of a deal, okay, because they have all the power right now, okay? Her magazine and her are going through a scandal, okay? And so she needs to find a way to get them to continue advertising in her magazine. All right. So basically, this is her job is on the line. Her ass is on the line here. She needs to find some sort of a way to get her advertisers to not pull out of her magazine. All right. And the first one she's going to is Dwar. All right. So Miranda says like, yes, the scandal and all, but luckily I have nothing to worry about because I have you. Flown in from on high to help redirect this century-old institution with your infinite wisdom. And what was it you said? Oh, your your expertise. I mean, now, on the surface, that is a snide remark, very rude, okay, very demeaning, very condescending. Okay, the sarcasm, I mean, it's so thick. Okay, you can cut it with a fucking sword. Okay, but later on, there is a payoff to that. Okay, because later on, she will tell Andy, okay, let's cut the bullshit here. Okay, you did not earn this job. Okay, I didn't fucking hire you. Okay, you're here on the whims of the CEO. Okay, so when you fail, and you will. All I have to do is put up with you until then. Okay? Now, that's a worse thing to say, but at least there was no sarcasm there. Okay? She's basically telling Andy, okay, listen, I didn't give you this job. Okay? My boss gave you this job. Okay? And I know more about this business than you ever will. So I am going to do the damage control. I'm just going to tolerate you. Okay, which, is that a rude thing to say? Absolutely. But is it accurate? Yes, absolutely it is. You see, that's what I like about The Devil Wears Prada. And I like this a lot about the last movie. There's a lot of tough love here. And I can deal with tough love. Okay, that's what I give you here on this channel. Okay, I don't tell you what you want to hear. I'm not going to stroke your fucking feelings here. I'm going to tell you straight up with no fucking lube. There ain't no lube here. And Miranda Priestley don't use lube either. And that's why I like that character. Okay, she'll tell you straight out. If you don't fucking get it, she'll just tell you. Okay? It might come across as rude, but there's a method to the madness. Once you go behind it, you realize, oh my God. In the last movie, okay, in Devil Wears Prada Part 1, okay, Andy felt that she was being mistreated when she was the new girl there. People were making fun of her clothes. They were calling her fat. They were calling her stupid, okay, and she was just like, oh my God, okay, But then when she asked Nigel for help, and Nigel was basically like, look, you don't give a shit about us. Okay, you're just here to put it on your resume and then move on. Okay, everybody you see working here, with the exception of you, we actually care about fashion. We care about Runway Magazine. Okay? Look at the way we dress. Look at what we talk about. We don't even fucking eat the food here because we don't want to gain weight. Okay, but here you are walking around, okay, feeling that nobody's treating you nice, but yet at no time do you have any interest in learning about what we do here. How important this is to us, And I was like, oh, that makes fucking sense. That makes absolute sense. So on the surface, it looks like she's being mistreated. Okay, but when Nigel gave her the little tough love speech there, she realized, no, Andy is the one who needs to fucking shape up. You see what I mean? And that's what Miranda does in that scene here. Okay, she's gonna tell Andy, okay, I didn't fucking put you here. You were put here on me. I just gotta put up with you. Because Andy's all like, okay, I'm gonna fix this whole company, blah blah blah, you know. But yet she hasn't worked with Miranda yet, not in this capacity. Okay, she only has a very tertiary understanding of what the scandal is and how all that got put together and what it's going to take to fix it. So here's Andy going like, I'm going to fix this thing, and Miranda's like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know these people that I have to talk to. You don't know these deals I have to make. Because you just showed up today and you're going to tell me you're going to fix my fucking magazine? You see what I mean? So if you look at it, the disrespect is actually coming from Andy. It's not coming from Miranda. Okay, so that's going on here. Okay, anyway, so they get there. Okay, they arrive at Dwar. Okay, sponsors most of their. It turns out that Dwar sponsors most of their events that they have, and they have a lot of pricey events like those galas and stuff. Those are all paid for by the companies. Okay, that advertise in Runway magazine. Okay, you know. So like other events, 16% of their ad revenue comes from Dwar, so they can't afford to lose them as a client. Okay, you know, the boss bitch in charge. Okay, we finally meet the boss bitch executive that they're gonna meet, and that one is Emily. Yes, of course, we knew she was gonna show up. Okay, it's Emily Blunt back again after 20 years. Incidentally, Emily Blunt, Meryl Streep, and Anne Hathaway all got paid significantly more money in order to make this sequel happen. That's why the budget for this movie is $100 million instead of the $40 million that part one was. Okay, so they all got paid a shitload to reprise their roles. Okay, and it worked. This movie made a shitload of money, man. What did this movie made? Oh God, almost $700 million. Almost $700 million on a $100 million budget. Damn. Anyway, so they arrive at Dwar, and yes, the executive they're meeting with is Emily Charleston, played by Emily Blunt. Another boss bitch. So you got one boss bitch, another boss bitch, a boss dude bitch because he's gay, and to meet another boss bitch. And later on, we're going to meet another boss bitch. Okay? Because that's what this movie is. Boss bitch the movie. All right? Okay. Because we all know that women are all boss bitches. None of them have any insecurities or, you know, or emotional or, you know, they're all super smart. They're all smarter than men. They win all the wars. They invent all the machines. They run all the infrastructure. That's why women are all engineers. They're all electricians, you know, and all those jobs that fucking make things happening. It's all done by women. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, of course. Yes. Right? Okay. All right. I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back soon to continue my review of Devil Wears Prada Part 2. I thank you for watching this long. I will see you soon on the next video. Bye.